We have some pretty interesting New World news for you guys here in this one in regards to fresh start servers. I, for one, have been pretty curious as to how they were going to handle this very vast dip in population on some of the fresh start servers because of some of the previous promises they have made in regards to some of these servers. Well, now we have our answers. So let's go over here and take a look at the latest news. So over here on newworld.com, we're going to quickly read through this article and then I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts and opinions on this subject matter and how this may affect you moving forward. So the latest news post over here is the deprecation of fresh start status for World Sutek. This is pretty important for some of the servers moving forward, and it begs the question as to whether or not they are going to continue to do fresh start servers or do them again in the future. So let's quickly read through this article. Greetings, adventurers. Since November 2022, fresh start worlds have allowed adventurers to relive the excitement of conquering unexplored territory, amass vast wealth, and forge new reputations throughout Eternum. While these worlds share the same game version as our other servers, they function as separate entities safeguarded against external influences like character transfers. If you're unaware, along with Brimstone Sands, there were some fresh start servers that released for the game. This was because the economy and some other factors due to territory control had allowed a lot of players to amass a ton of wealth. There were also a lot of dupes on the legacy servers, so the fresh start servers were just kind of a way to entice players to come back into the game and just have a brand new fresh start. These were incredibly successful on launch. However, they have drastically decreased in population since then for a various number of reasons. And they made a promise, and we'll get to that here in just a second, that they would never merge these servers with legacy servers. So let's keep reading. However, not all worlds can maintain a sufficiently active population to support New World's large-scale game modes and other content areas, which is true. We're going to take a look at the population for some of these servers here in just a moment. In accordance with our initial promise when fresh start worlds were introduced, we will refrain from merging a single remaining fresh start world in a region if its population falls below a healthy threshold. So here is the fresh start rollout plan that they talked about a little while ago, or back in October of 2022. This is whenever they first announced this fresh start rollout plan. And a couple of very key points here whenever they first rolled this out are that we will never merge fresh start worlds into a legacy world. So if a fresh start world population drops, does that mean it'll be merged on a legacy server, or will it be merged with another fresh start server? They say they are never going to merge fresh start worlds into legacy worlds. So this is one of the reasons why they're just removing that fresh start tag from Sutek, because now Sutek is technically no longer a fresh start server. They also had this question asked, and it was, how long will the servers be locked from transfers from existing servers? Will players in these fresh start worlds be able to transfer out of them? There will be no transfers of existing characters into fresh start worlds. We plan to allow transfers from fresh start world into legacy at a later time. Well, now, since this Sutek server is no longer a fresh start world, transfers from the legacy server can be made into this fresh start server. So this is just a kind of a sneaky way, or not necessarily a sneaky way, but a workaround to all of these promises they made before, because now just removing the designation of fresh start means that they can get around some of these promises, which is quite interesting the way they're handling this. Nonetheless, abandoning a world is not an option. So in an effort to sustain and grow community numbers for eligible worlds, we will remove the fresh start designation and provide the impacted community with time to recover and restructure before considering further remedies. Keeping this in mind, we are delighted to announce that Sutek, located in our Asia Pacific region, will be the first world to undergo this transition. This is a pretty key sentence here. The first world to undergo this transition, implying that there are going to be others that follow. As a result, users will now have the freedom to interact and transfer between Sutek and Delos, fostering a dynamic and sustainable player base for Sutek. We understand that this solution may not be ideal for everyone, but we strongly believe it offers the best way forward for regions that are too small to support both standard and fresh start worlds. So now here are the details of the removal of the fresh status on Sutek. On May the 24th at 10 a.m. PDT, the world Sutek will transition into a standard world. What this means for you if you're on Sutek, and if you're on another fresh start world currently, this could mean this for you in the future. The fresh start world indicator will be removed. Character transfer restrictions will be lifted for both in transfers and out transfers. This means you can transfer in or out of the fresh start world to another world, or into the fresh start world from a legacy world. And then it just says, note that the standard 30-day transfer waiting period is still in effect. And then characters will remain on this world and will not be forced to move or merge to another world. However, the population on Sutek is so low that I would imagine that a lot of people will probably either transfer off or potentially stick it out or hang in there until the cross-server queues come in with Season 2, which is just right around the corner. No downtime are required to make these adjustments, and then fresh start worlds and other regions will remain unchanged. So here is a bonus event that's happening for this server, and I would assume that whenever they do this to other servers, we'll get a similar bonus event. To facilitate a smoother transition and promote the forging of new friendships, Sutek will host an exclusive bonus XP event called the Welcome Party. This event will last for 14 days. It's going to start at 10 a.m. on 5/24. It's going to end on June the 7th. And during this event, character XP will be boosted to a 2-time bonus rate. The gathering, refinement, and fishing trade skills will also receive enhanced benefits. I would imagine they're doing this because they're trying to pull people into this server so they don't have to eventually merge this into the other only remaining server in that region. So if we now go over here to NWDB and take a look at the server status, we can see here that Sutek, as of the recording of this video, has 62 players online. And you can see by looking at the chart, it really only peaks at about 200 players. And then in the same region, you have Delos, which only peaks at about 1,000 players, so it's not anywhere close to cap. So to me, it makes sense that at some point they'll just merge these two servers together if the population continues to drop. And now with the removal of the fresh start status, they will be able to do that without kind of breaking their promise that they made to the community before. However, I'm not sure that they're ever going to merge these two servers because cross-server queuing's coming in, and I don't know that they want to have just one server in any region because of the cross-server queuing. It would be a little bit weird to introduce cross-server and then only have one server in each of these regions. That would be kind of rough. But nonetheless, in my mind, it would make sense to just go ahead and merge these and be done with it. Make one server. It'd be a better play experience for most people, except for gathering resources if you want to do that. But for the vast majority of the game, it is so much better to be on a higher pop server, in my opinion. But now let's take a look at some of the other regions. So if we take a look at US West, there's also only 2 servers over here in the US West. And you can see that El Dorado still has a fairly healthy population during peak time, almost 1,500 concurrents. However, you have Isabella that only peaks at 500-ish, a little over 500. So I would imagine that Isabella will probably at some point in the future undergo the same fate as Sutek, and it will have the fresh start status removed as well. It would not surprise me at all if all of these fresh start servers eventually remove this fresh start status, just indicating that you can now transfer into or out of these freely. That makes sense in my mind. These servers really aren't even fresh servers any longer. So I think that eventually all of these are going to be designated as normal servers and they will no longer have this fresh tag. I think that's coming. I think that's going to happen for every single fresh server on this list at some point in the future. Then those promises they made can be worked around and no one can really say anything because these aren't fresh start servers anymore. So technically they're not merging fresh start servers and they're not allowing legacy servers to transfer into fresh start servers because you can't do that if there's no more fresh start servers left. So I just found this to be pretty interesting information. I have always wondered how they were going to handle this situation with the servers. And to me, this is a pretty smart way to get around it. Just remove the designation of fresh and now they're not fresh. So now we're not breaking any promises here. Nonetheless, that's what they're doing. Love it, hate it, whatever your opinion may be. This is what's happening. I would love to know your opinion though, however. What do you think about the removal of the fresh designation on these servers? Also, do you think they will implement fresh start servers again in the future? I personally think that may come in with the expansion. I think it was a very big success whenever they implemented it the first time. I think they're going to remove the fresh start status on all of these servers and then implement that system again along with the expansion to try to boost the player numbers. Because I think fresh start servers are enticing for new players coming back to the game for some big expansion or some big update. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't know that for sure, but I'd love to know your take on it. What do you guys think? Do you like this? What do you think about them removing the fresh start designation? I think it's going to happen to every single server that's fresh start. And what do you think is going to happen in the future? More fresh starts? No more fresh starts? I'd love to know. But that'll do it for this one, boys and girls. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you guys being here. If you enjoy New World or enjoy New World content, please make sure to like and subscribe. I would appreciate that a lot as well. And of course, we stream every Monday through Friday over twitch.tv/BDLG. Would love to see you come hang out over there. That'll do it for this one. We'll see you next one.